Welcome, everybody, to the Evolution Podcast, the podcast hosted by the School Community Evergreen Foundations here on School. I'm your host, Brandon Kramer from the Better Brain Project, and my awesome co-host, Dinka Salvador from Trinity Code. Today, we welcome our amazing moderator, dear friend, and fellow community owner, Ires Aponte. Ires, how are you?
Hi, guys. I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing really well this morning. I'm drinking tea you sent me.
Oh, good. I'm so glad that it's helping.
As we start, you have kind of been a part of this. It's kind of fun because you've been a part of the summit, and you were a big fan of the summit, watching a lot of the calls and stuff, and you were a part of, I think, the whole month. So that was, and now here you are on the podcast. That's really cool for me.
I know, it's so crazy. And that was such a great event. I mean, so many great speakers. I got so much out of that. So it was amazing what you guys put together in a month. So yeah, I definitely made history with that one, and it's kind of cool. I get to be on it now too.
Yeah, and we have grown to know you and really love you and our communities and everything you bring, but not all of our audience and even members probably know too much about you. So who is Ires Aponte?
Well, I'm a lot of things. I think primarily I'm somebody who cares a lot about people. I care about helping others, and I love animals. Since I was a little kid, I've just really felt connected to the animal kingdom, you could say, in a way. And I just that's sort of how I started off on my energy healing journey, was making that connection with animals and helping them, and then kind of migrated over to people. But I mean, ever since I can remember, the person that I am, I just like helping others.
I love that. And it's such a common thread with a lot of our school owners and people here in our communities and stuff, is they take their stories and their pains and their lessons and turn them into their biggest medicines and their biggest the things that they give back to the world. And I really love that. And I think that's a common thread here on our podcast, is the normal everyday human beings that are making a difference in the world by just giving back. Have you experienced that a lot since you've been on school?
Yeah, it's really amazing to see. That was something that I was actually not expecting when I first joined the app. And, I first joined kind of just wanting to learn more. I've always been an avid learner. I got that from my dad. He's always been really encouraging to me to read, to learn, to challenge myself. And so that was my purpose in joining school. And then once I got here, I realized that there's just so much community and so much support. And I didn't really realize that I was actually missing that until I found it here with everybody, and especially at Evergreen Foundations. Because, in joining a lot of groups, you kind of get to see the difference between different groups. And I think for sure Evergreen Foundation stood out to me for that soul level that it had to actually build relationships with the members in the group. So to me, that initially was like the spark that was like, oh, there's something different here. There's something really cool going on here. And I want to be in on that. I want to contribute to that.
I love that. And your story watching it unfold has been super cool, because you really started as a member on school. You didn't join the link in the Alex Hormozy wave and go, I need to start a school community, and then start joining other communities. You were actually a member. Like, you're a member of a lot of great communities. And I remember seeing people like, Ires, you need to start a community. And you would kind of like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Maybe I seen your desire for it grow. And then all of a sudden I woke up one day and a journey back to you was created. Can you tell us about kind of that process and being a member and going, hey, I should start one?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was you, Brandon. You sent me a message a couple of times and were like, hey, have you thought about making one? And I was, like you said, kind of in that boat where I was like, I have so much going on right now. I mean, I have my 9-to-5 job. I had just started my Reiki business. And I was kind of just enjoying like the first couple of months, just being a spectator kind of thing. And I didn't really start interacting. I was like a lurker in most of the schools I was in, school groups. And then with you guys, it was like, no, I don't want to be that anymore. And so just kind of like seeing how everything was run at Evergreen. And when I say run, it sounds like, oh, it's a business, but it doesn't feel like a business. It feels like connection. And that's what I love about it, is that feeling of friendship and connection that is being built here was something, like I said, that I felt I had been missing in my own life. Um, and that kind of fueled me to be like, okay, maybe I can do this, because you guys are supporting each other so much and supporting each other's groups. So it's not like I'm going to be doing it all by myself, all alone, which is what I've pretty much been doing my whole life. That's how I've survived, is pretty much on my own. And it wasn't like that here. So once I kind of felt that I would not be totally on my own, I was like, okay, let's do it. Yeah, and I just decided. You say one morning you woke up and I had it. That's pretty much how fast I decided. And Dinka, she knows my human design chart, so she can tell you. I mean, I'm a sacral generator, so I feel it in my gut and I just do it.
Well
And
done, you.
that's what happened.
Yeah, no, I totally relate to that because I am a sacral generator as well. And it's funny, sometimes we try to override our gut feeling or understand like from the mind, like the decision is already made, but then you still try to like process it with your mind and like do the pros and cons, but it's already done and you just kind of have to accept it. And I was so happy to see when, that morning it was just there, and also the support. I felt like this is the soul gang assembling. We talk about this so often. There's this core group of people who are all in each other's communities. Everywhere you go, you just kind of see a familiar face on every call, and it's growing. And you're definitely a part of that soul gang, Iris. So it's an
Thank you.
absolute joy to have you in the family.
Oh, thank you, Dinka. I'm
Mm.
happy to be part of it for sure.
Mm.
And that's one of my favorite things about what we created here in the ecosystem, and having so many connected communities where we really do grow together. Cross pollination has been kind of my word of the year, just going into other communities, having events, doing other things. My favorite thing about school is when I'm in a community, and I don't always like look at every member. I don't always look at the leaderboard. Sometimes I'm just commenting or I'm just on that thread. And then all of a sudden I'll see like Iris or Ro comments. And I'm like, oh my God, Ro, you're in here too. And like you get all excited. You get super
Yeah.
excited that you like seen one of your friends from down the road or something. And that feeling
Mm-hmm.
is really cool. I love that.
It is. It's really cool, and you realize how much you have in common with people in this group, and that people are so complex. We all have all these different aspects to ourselves, and this is part of the struggle that I've had in starting my business. Is I couldn't niche down, right? So I'm like, I don't fit anywhere. I feel like I'm all these little things, and then I finally realized, okay, well, then I have to make my own niche. I'm just going to be me. And then that's kind of when stuff started to like fall into place and things started to flow, which is that flow. I think I even mentioned to you, Brandon, is what I noticed in the podcast, was that sense of flow and how everything just kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
And it's tapping into that part of just like, okay, I'm just going to be me. And then whoever comes towards me is meant to be in my life.
I love that. Yeah, and that's exactly how manifestation works, by the way. I also love, this is maybe a good segue into something that you posted recently in Evergreen, and then it kind of popped up in all different communities about the highest frequency being authenticity, that little clip of Zach Bush that you have shared. And I really strongly feel that it's something that makes everyone magnetic because you are the only person who can be you the way that you are, and that makes you unique. And we are so afraid to shine our light sometimes. And then once somebody dares to do it, it gives permission to the other wonderful humans to be like, wait a minute, like this person is wonderfully weird. And, people seem to enjoy that. So maybe I can be my flavor of wonderfully weird without fearing like judgment or rejection or whatever. And so
Yeah.
you definitely bring a flavor of that in the community with your unapologetic, kind-hearted healer self, because I truly see you as a healer from the heart. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Dina. Oh my gosh, that was so nice. Yeah, it was hard won, because I was raised in a very strict religious background where you were taught to blend in, stay quiet, stay small. And so that's a lesson that I had to learn later in life. I'm going to be 40 this year, and it's the first time that I felt like free to be able to be my true self and find my real tribe. And I think that's kind of like you said, that's feeling into our struggles that we've had and then turning them around, transmuting that pain into something powerful that can not only heal ourselves, but heal other people and encourage other people to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that.
And I think that's more powerful when we're really connected to somebody. It's never resonated with me to comment on somebody's social media, DM them, get on a call with them, and now you're my clients, and I'm going to work with you for 6 months and get a bunch of results. It's never resonated with me. Instead of being who you need me to be, I'm just going to be me. Like you said, authentic, 100% me. I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but the people that you attract to me, we're going to connect and we're going to bond and we're going to grow, and I'm going to understand them and they're going to understand me. So by the time we get to work together, we are going to have such a connection that the things we get done are incredible. Yes, can you get results just being a really good coach or wellness practitioner and getting somebody off the street that you don't know and trying to be the best thing for them and be their client or be their coach for 6 months and get results? Probably. But can you get way more authentic, purposeful, driven goals done when you are actually like personally connected with somebody because you both fit? I think there's more to that. And when you said that, that really stuck out to me because it's true. You could have 1,000 people that you're speaking to try to make them think you're what they need, or you could just be you. And 500 of those people, you're not going to be for, but the other ones you might be. And that for me, to me, just means a lot more because you get really connected with the people that you work in this healing space. And it should be something where you're connected, not just a conveyor belt of people you barely know, right?
Yeah, and especially with the kind of work that we're doing, it's really deep. Healing is not easy work, and anybody who's experienced trauma can attest to that. And so it's really important to be able to have that connection with somebody, and be able to have your hearts resonate together, for any change to really happen in the first place. And time has nothing to do with it. Like, I haven't known you guys for very long and we already feel like a family. And for example, James, he has his hypnotherapy school group, and I've only known him for, I think, less than a month. And he's doing amazing work, and he helped me so much yesterday in a session where it's like I would have been like in 10 years of therapy for like 2 sessions with James. You know what I mean? Like, and not to knock therapists or anybody who does all the work and goes to school, and that's important too, but I think once you have a heart resonance mixed into it, it takes things to a whole different level when it comes to healing ourselves and healing others. And then ultimately the goal, right, is for us to heal as a collective. Like, the world needs healing, and you have to start small.
Yes. Yeah. And we all have our own gifts. We all have our own special things that we know, and not everything is going to fit for another person. It's not some cookie cutter like, oh yeah, you need to journal because that's what's going to heal your trauma. That journaling might not be for somebody, and it might be really powerful for somebody else because it is such a good scientific tool for healing. It's not just everybody does the same things. And that's what I love about this community and this podcast. We have people pumping in and out. That's what makes us unique, is we have our members that can just kind of watch this live. Welcome. And people like Yarna and James Bonsbach. I talked to James Bonsbach live. Was the first time I ever talked to him live on a podcast for a summit that he had. We were trying to connect beforehand and it didn't work. So the first time I talked to him was live, and we had like 10 people there, and it was the coolest thing. I opened up about stuff live that I probably wouldn't open up about because James made me feel that comfortable. And there's sometimes in life. Like I bring up Yarna, who just popped in our call, because the same thing, when he talks to you, you look at your life different. And there's so many other people that we've seen on this podcast, yourself, Sharon Prawl, Dinka is a big one in my life, where I've known her for a year and she's like a sister to me already. Like we gotta argue like brother and sister sometimes, and if you go after my sister, I will be the first one that will come after you hard. So like, and that's a year of each other. We've never met in person. So I do, connections are, it's a beautiful thing around here.
Definitely. Yeah. And like you said, everybody is different. Everybody has different ways that they confront their healing journey. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring to the table with Journey Back to You was, giving people different options to be able to tap into, that inner healing work. Like Brandon mentioned, there's the journaling, and then there's like so many things out there. There's so many modalities. And I just thought back to, okay, when I was going through the lowest points in my life, what did I need? What was I looking for? And then it took me 10 years to learn, to teach myself, to read, to study, to investigate. And how can I make that just a little bit easier for somebody else? Okay, what if I just like give them a big plate and then they can go and they can taste a little bit of each, or they can find one thing and then figure out, okay, this is for me, this is working, and then build off of that. Like if they want to, follow it up with therapy, that's totally great too. But it's kind of just like a little tasting plate for people to be able to try out exactly what fits their needs best. And nobody knows what fits you but you. So
yeah, I say this often, that everybody is the expert of their own human experience, and there's no right or wrong way to be human, right? And that's part of the beauty of all of us being the same species, but yet like one different version of it, and none of us are identical. And so it would be ridiculous if we would all have the same needs, and we would all need to heal the same way. I mean, I guess there are overarching themes, but I love that it's kind of like a trial and error situation, and there's no judgment, there's only kindness, and then you just create this wonderful, farmers market of like, hey, try this, and what do you think? And maybe it's working, and if yes, yay, and if it's not, well, moving on. So yeah, that's really the way for me to. It's like choice by elimination. I've certainly done that in my life. It's like, is it working? No, okay, moving on. So that's really wonderful. I love it.
exactly.
This community is becoming like a yellow pages for me personally now. What do I need help with? Like I go through like, oh, perfect, I'll talk to that person. And that's what I really, we are all so unique, and we all offer so many different ways to heal, gifts and experiences that this community has almost become like a little yellow book of, hey, I need information on this. I know what 5 people I can go to almost immediately. That's really cool. It's a cool
thing. Exactly. We all have our area of knowledge and expertise, and then on top of it, like hard learned life lessons that experience that we can bring in, and that's something that really is priceless. The experiences you have in your life are what mold you, into who you are today. And so those, a lot of the times, they're not like the greatest, and so the way you kind of turn it around is you say, okay, well, I had to go through this the hard way. I had to learn it the hard way. So let me see if I can help somebody learn it, the easy way, or not as hard as I had to do,
Well, as the saying goes, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor, right? So it is necessary. The pressure, the turbulence, the hurt, that's where growth lives. And I'm not saying that we should go there willingly, or like we should seek discomfort, although to a certain extent, maybe the comfort zone is this fluffy cozy place where nothing ever happens. But I feel like it's very important to see the opportunities in smaller difficulties before life gives you a wrecking ball to tell you like, hey, you didn't pay attention. Let me crank the volume up, because I mean I certainly had moments where I was like, I was totally ignoring the signs, so life had to bring in the big guns to tell me like, hey, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, the big tower moment
Oh yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
comes in when we don't listen to that inner voice, or when we let others push us around into a direction that is not meant for us. That's usually when that happens, right? I've learned that so many times in my life, that if you don't stick your head out and speak up, you just let yourself be pushed around, then, like you said, the universe is going to come and shake you in a way
Yeah.
that there's no other way for you to see the truth, which is that you need to take charge of your life. It's your life to live. It was a gift for you. So that taking that into your hand and realizing, that it's up to you to live it the way that is right for you is very important.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the overarching themes in maybe all human beings is the victimhood, right? Like we get into that, like, oh, poor me, why is this happening to me? It's like you have no control in this, but that's actually quite the opposite. That's the only thing that you can do, is to choose to remain a victim and be in that comfortable pain, and then do nothing about it, or go after the uncomfortable or unknown but possibly better situation. And it's scary for sure. I mean, it's never easy, right? Change is just the nature of change, is that it's just uncomfortable, but there's usually some goodies on the other side, so it's always worth it.
For
Yeah.
sure, there's always opportunity for growth in it.
And our soul didn't choose to come here to be bored. This is a school. We are alchemists. We came here to evolve, right? To get better.
Yeah, I was just having that thought this morning, actually, as I was getting ready, about how life is really just about practice. Everything we do is just like practice. What are we practicing for? I don't know. Maybe we find out, when we leave this earth plane. But
Yeah.
for now, while we're here, I feel like everything is just we're figuring it out as we go, and hopefully able to help others figure it out too on their path. Help each other out.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go back a little bit. You said in Journey Back to You, you really wanted to give like almost like a bite-sized menu for people to have as tools on their healing journey. What are some of those things that you offer?
So there's a few sections. Right now we're working on chakras. So I decided to do like a weekly focus on the 7 basic chakras. Right now we're doing the root chakra. But within the classroom there are, let's see, there's breath work. I think there's journaling. I have the worst memory, Brandon. You know me. Are you
The
there?
trauma
Okay.
and shame, brain
Okay.
spotting, somatic therapy, embodiment. I feel like you offer quite a bit. And no, I don't have memory. I'm looking.
Okay, yeah. I was like, you have it open, right, Ben? You're always
I'm cheating.
prepared. Yeah, so they're kind of just like bite-sized intros for people to learn what it's all about. And I think I've also created a few workbooks and guides to go along with the different classroom modules. And a lot of it is just inspired by the people that are in the group, like Sarah Friedrich was one of the ones that wanted more information on brain spotting. So I just did more research for her, and then I created a little workbook that I sent to her, and then asked her, would you be okay if I shared it with everybody else in the class? She was like, yeah. So I really just want to help, whatever the needs are of the people that are in my group, and provide that information for them, just make it a little bit easier so that they don't feel so alone, or like they don't have the tools that they need to apply, the information so that they can work on bettering themselves. And sorry if you heard my dog, she's right here and she just burped really loud.
My dog is never farther than 2 feet away from me and gives me a few calls all day long too.
Oh gosh, mine's a Frenchie, so she's really loud.
And honestly, Iris, that is why you are going to run a very successful, long sustained community, is because that's the trick. You speak to one person if one member needs to know something or wants more of something, help them with that, because there's going to be more that come. And you really just, member at a time, really make them feel seen, heard, and cared for. And you really do that. And everything you just said is spot on for how a community owner should really focus, not teaching their members something, but learning what their members need to want more information on. And once you start doing that, I think that's when community culture really goes. Like, look, Sarah Frederick helped you make one course that now many people might get something from, which is really cool. I did it in Better Brain Project. Me and Alicia did this. Somebody was like talking about their immune system a couple of weeks ago, like a lot, and how it was crashing and different things, and how do I change it? And Alicia was like, March, let's talk about the immune system. And I was like, perfect. And we got a message yesterday, thanks so much for doing this. And we didn't reach out and say, hey, we're going to do this for you because you commented about it. We just decided to do it. And then we got that thanks. That meant a lot that you guys are going to give me more information on this. So it's really about that. How can you show up for that member in your community? And
Yeah.
I really see that in you. That's awesome.
Oh, thanks, Brandon. Yeah, well, I had a good example, here at Evergreen Foundations of what it was like to, well, in real life, it's just like real life too. It's your friendships, your relationships, your family. You care about somebody, you're going to reach out and try to help them. At least that's how I've always been. And I feel like, there's a lot of ways that by reaching out and by showing a little bit of care and love towards others, we can make a difference even in the smallest of ways. And I've always believed that. And when you affect somebody in a good way, you feel it, you see it in their face, and so it's mutual. It's like, you're making an impact on someone's life, even if it's in a small way, but then they are receiving it and they're really grateful to you for that, and they show it and they express it, and it's like a give and take, right? It's not just take or give. There's a balance there, and I think that balance is something really beautiful to have that I've found in different communities here in school. For sure.
Yeah, that's actually one of the laws of the universe, that whatever you put out there has to return to you. There's just no other way. It might not come back from the same source, from the same person, but when you give love and kindness to people, it will come back to you in one way or another. And I've seen this happening over and over again. I'm certain that all the love and goodness that you give to others will return to you tenfold as well.
It has.
So
for
I
sure.
I can't wait to see this happening, all these ripples and all these synchronicities. So amazing.
Yeah, for sure. What is this idea, Dinka, that you have going on with the?
Yeah, I was thinking of mentioning that. That was so wonderful. So I had this idea of like, we already have in the Soul Gang so many wonderful humans who have this healing heart. And I wanted to capture that in a way that we can come back to it when it's necessary, almost like an energy bank. And so I reached out to some of the people on this call and then many more. I think I reached out to about 20 something people. And within one day, I got 20 hell yeses back, like without any question or like hesitation. It's like, just tell me when and where, and I will be there. And that's just, a testament to all the wonderful people who are in this community and just willing to give and show up for each other and for the greater good. So it's going to happen. I'm probably going to try to organize it for the coming new moon, so next Thursday. But we are pretty wide across, spread across time zones. So it might have to be in like 2 different times. But it's definitely happening, and it's so funny how it was a no-brainer for most people. Like, duh, like I'm just gonna be there. So yeah, that's very exciting, and Iris is also going to be part of that. Yeah,
I think that's so great. That was such a good idea to do. And like you said, there are so many wonderful people in the community that have healing abilities and are offering that love that the world really needs right now, like desperately needs. That power is going to get amplified altogether.
So more on that later. And so what is What is the big plan for your community, or how do you see your community grow, or what are the coming steps for you?
Well, I'm very go with the flow type of person, so I'm gonna just keep giving it the attention that it needs and the people what they need as much as I can. Like you said, everything in the community, it's about giving back to the needs of them. So I just want to be able to stay attentive to that as I figure out, the whole 9 to 5 thing and
Mhm.
my Reiki business as well. It would be nice to eventually be able to just have my Reiki business and
Mm.
the school community. So I'm kind of in a period of transition right now
Mm.
where, it's kind of up in the air. I'm, like I said, I'm going to be doing as much as I can for Evergreen Foundations and for Journey Back to You and the people inside of it. And yeah, wherever it takes me, I've been like this my whole life, Dinka. I don't know what to tell you. I move around a lot too, like homes. I've never been able to really stay rooted anywhere, which is very weird because I'm a Cancer and they usually like to be at home all day long.
Oh, you take your home with you. It doesn't mean that it has to be in one place.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
carry that in your heart.
Yeah, that's true. But I
Mm.
definitely just, I want to keep being of service to others in whatever way that looks like. And I'm
Mm.
open to what the universe has in store for me. And I'm
Mm.
excited. I'm excited
I
to
love
see
that.
what happens. Yeah.
Because that's where the magic happens also. I think that especially in today's society, we are so programmed to have everything figured out, like you have to have these plans and all the steps and everything needs to be thought out, but that actually doesn't leave much room for the magic. So I actually love
Yeah.
it that you are just like, well, universe, surprise me. This is my intention. This is the energy that I want to bring. And then show me how good it can get.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the magic happens, like you said.
Absolutely. Yeah, love it. Mm.
Awesome crowd here. If anybody has questions for Iris, we're a pretty open podcast here. We like to keep it community and connected friendly. Just hit the raise your hand emoji and you can ask Iris a question live. Iris, I'm curious about the Reiki. How did that come into your story? When did Reiki become something that became something of your healing modalities?
Yeah. So part of like when everything started, for me, I would go on YouTube and I realized that it kind of was mixed into like the sound frequency healing that I had started listening to. So like binaural beats, different frequencies have different effects on the human brain. And so I kind of had started there. And then the suggestions from YouTube kind of led me to distance healing Reiki videos. So I started to I was like, what is this? I didn't really understand what it was. But I noticed that they all had different intentions set to them, which I thought was really interesting. And so I was like, well, it can't hurt me. Right? It says right there, it's like part of Reiki is that it's only for our good. So I'm like, why not just try it? And so I would leave it on my phone, just playing music throughout the day. And then I started to sense like a shift in me, probably like within a couple of weeks. And I couldn't, it's really hard to describe, but other than I started to feel a lot more at peace within myself. Um, and this is before I even started meditating. This is like the bare minimum where I was at in my healing journey. And so I started to read more into it and study more into it. And then I found a program online that was, you could take the courses online and then you would message the instructor. And then after taking the exam and stuff, you would get attunement, which is basically the instructor is, attuning you to that Reiki healing energy, so that you can then go and practice it on others. And while I was studying, my dog Max, who I had since 2013, I think when I got him, he got really sick. And I was living on my own at that time. I had moved out of my mom's house and I had learned enough in Reiki to I felt confident that I could do something to help him. And so I did. I started doing Reiki on him. The thing is that because my emotions were so intertwined to the Reiki, I tapped into something a little bit different, which I later understood was sort of like an intuitive form of energy healing. And like one of the signs that it's happening is I'll get like a fluttering in my left ear, and you almost get the sense of like when your ears are stuffed up. And so I tapped into that, and then on top of obviously taking him to go get medical care, he healed so fast. I mean, he was dying. He went from not being able to stand up to go to the bathroom, and we're talking about he was an English bulldog. He's passed since, but he weighed about 75 pounds, and I was alone living in an apartment. And like I had to lift him up and drag him outside so he could go to the bathroom. So he was dying. I took him to the vet. They said, okay, are you ready to put him down? I was like 2 minutes away from saying yes. And then I said, let's just try something else. Put him on antibiotics and I'll take care of him. And we'll see if he passes at home. He passes at home, you know. So they did that. I brought him back home. I started doing Reiki on him and giving him the medication. I changed his diet. And yeah, I mean, within a month, he was back to even better than he was before. I mean, at this point, he was probably around 10 years old, and he was like a puppy again. I couldn't believe it. And so that's when it hit me like, oh my gosh, this works. Like, this really works. Obviously, I believed in it because I had felt the benefits. But for me to now be able to be that channel for the healing energy was mind blowing to me. And I just was like so excited, so thrilled to do it. And yeah, so I kept doing Reiki on him, and he lived another 3 years. My best friend Max, he passed away last March already. It's going to be a year. But that's what kind of got me started on this journey. And you know, from there, just helping out family members and anybody who lets me, really. I've been doing Reiki on, and then finally I did it enough where I was like, okay, this would be cool if I would be able to help people just as a living, you know, for a living. And that's what led me to open up my business. And the really cool part is that you can do distance healing, and because Reiki isn't bound by, you know, laws of time or space. And I think that is the, oh my gosh, it's still, I'm like, I can't find the words to express like how wonderful I think that is, that someone can still receive the benefits of Reiki even though they're not right next to you, because everything is intention, right? And that source energy, we're all connected to it. So anybody can learn how to do this for themselves. And yeah, I want to be able to teach that to others, that everyone has access to this healing energy, and, you know, learn how to do it. And then it's part of another way to heal ourselves. It's really wonderful.
If no one's ever heard the term Reiki, which, not to blow off, that was an incredible story. Like,
Yeah.
wow, right? Like, I can just feel your emotion of like that moment of, oh my God, I did this, right? Like, I had an impact on this. That's got to be a pretty
Yeah.
huge thing, like bigger than us, right? So I can only
Yeah.
imagine. But if anyone doesn't know or never heard the word, what is a good description of what Reiki entails?
So Reiki is basically it's energy. The founder was Japanese, and this is the part that is really interesting is he figured out that this energy was accessible to everyone. But what it means is universal life force. Hi, sweetie. Sorry, my little puppy's right here. So basically, it's how I picture it is just like this connection that we all have to source, almost like, or you can call God also. But it's the energy that can heal us to our core, but we are all able to connect to it. It's something that people don't teach, but it's there. And really all it takes is our connection to it is, through meditation or through whatever we decide to learn. Even prayer can be a way to connect to it, but it's all in how we nurture that connection. And especially for me, as such a visual person, meditation is major to connect to it. And once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. Yeah. So it's kind of like once you're connected to that force, you. So in the beginning, when people receive Reiki, they might not feel anything at all, which is totally fine. But as you start to learn more and call it in more to yourself, you actually will physically start to feel like tingles. Some people will feel like warmth in certain areas of their body if there's like a concentration of Reiki being sent there. So the physical manifestations will come with time, but because most people are so disconnected from that source, that healing energy, they usually, like the first couple of times, they won't feel it. I mean, it's different for everybody, really. So, but yeah, it's something that we are all able to do for ourselves and for others, which is, I think, so cool. We just learn how to do it.
I've really been learning a lot more about the power of energy. I think Sharon Prawl really, her episodes kicked off me wanting to know more. And then Ankara from, he sent me some copper crosses that he makes the copper works, right? And I've really been looking into energy more, healing touch energy, copper energy, energy in the universe, energy all around us, in the ground. Like I've really been looking into this more. And like I said, Sharon kicked that off because along like with your dog, she told the story of a patient she had that she was just touching and sending certain and healing energies to. And the more people that I learn that are just like you said, once you feel it, understand it, now I'm starting to really go, oh yeah. And I feel like I'm entering that understanding realm just because I'm getting so curious and listening and seeing your real world. Like, hey, we're not just talking about this works. And you guys all have, I have so many friends now with story after story after story of this healing energy that truly works, and it's super incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly believe that we are all healers, whether you want it or not, actually, because just the power of love when you care about someone and they are not doing well, and just hold them in your thought, and you just send them love, that is healing. So I think it's much more of a matter of accepting it than discovering it, because it's there by default. It's just like a button. Like if you're willing to go there, you press it. Everybody has access to it. And so I think this is again a fine example of going first, like showing the way, leading by example. Hey, I had this situation and I was curious and probably a little bit desperate, because we love our fur babies, right? Like we just want to help them. And so it's a bit of like mad scientist kind of stuff. Like what could go wrong? Like worst case, it doesn't work, right? And then lo and behold, it added 3 years or a year, right? You said it.
3 years.
It added 3 years to his life. So it's a very small investment for an amazing return. So I feel like this is going to be a super inspirational story for other people out there to explore energy healing. So thank you for that wonderful encouragement.
Of course. And I actually really like what you said, that a lot of times we're doing it and we don't even realize it. And that's so true, because like I remember being small and like, falling down, and my mom would come over and, she'd like, it's okay, you're okay. Like she would rub that area. Or in Spanish, there's like a saying of like when a child hurts themselves, they'll say sana sana colita de rana, right? Which is like heal little frog. It's weird in English. It doesn't translate right, but basically it's the saying, you're gonna be okay, right? And you always just go like this. Well, it's kind of the same energy that a parent does for a sick child, when they put their hand on the child's forehead if they have a fever. So yeah, we're constantly tapping into it, but not consciously doing it. And
Yeah.
so it becomes so much stronger within us and for other people when we do it consciously. So it's about bringing that consciousness into our daily life and realizing we do have that power to do it. I mean, you can infuse water, infuse Reiki with water and our food. And this is all just like you said, everybody has access to it, but yeah, I think it's really important to bring that consciousness into it so that we are doing things with intention, because intention is so important, with anything that we do.
Well, where attention goes, energy flows. So it's very important to be aware of these things, and then, as you were saying at the beginning, practice. That's just practice makes, well, not perfect but better. So if you come back to something and you put time and effort and your love and care in it, there's no other way. It will have to grow, right? So it's almost like watering a little seed, and then seeing it grow into a plant and then giving fruit. So
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that example.
Well, Iris, this has been everything I knew it was going to be, because I've gotten to know you, and this isn't our first call together. So I really thank you for coming on the podcast, talking to Dinka and I. It's been fun to really get to know you on a deeper level, even. And from the things that I did know, your stories today were awesome. And I thank you for all your words about our community as well. This is the time of the podcast where I'm going to kick it over to Dinka, for she's going to pick you an oracle card. I know you probably
have. Yeah, I did already. So you get the shapeshifter, and it reads, transform and unveil your gifts. So there's that.
So fitting. So fitting. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dinka.
And the funny thing is that it's like, basically it's a patchwork of animals, which you started with, that you're an animal lover. So it's like, I don't know, I find these cards so fitting most of the time.
So. They're so beautiful. Thank you, Dinka.
Of course.
You are a healer to your core. I've known that from our first conversation. I literally have throat coat healing tea next to me. That you, not that I need this in my life, if you don't know. And my throat chakra healing guide is right next to my office now. I thank you for really giving me a piece of your healing energy and time. And thank you for stopping by. You know what's coming next because you've watched enough of these. What does evolution mean to you?
To me, evolution means being able to go with the flow, roll with the punches, just being able to learn life, learn from the experiences, turn those experiences into something positive, even when they're not the greatest. That transmuting pain into power, I think, to me, is what evolution is all about. And learning and growing constantly to become a better person and help others to become better as well.
I really believe that the theme of this has been, we all have the ability to break from victim mentality of our own lives and to embrace our pains and turn them into something beautiful that we can help others with. And you are a shining example of that, my friend. Thank you so much for this amazing conversation. Evergreen Foundations, you guys always get first dibs on our podcast. It will be going on the wall. And then Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, look for the Evergreen or Evolution podcast. Have a great day, everyone, and never stop.
Thank you so much, guys.